Hello bosses, today we are here to discuss our classification model, which will help us to enhance our company's cybersecurity. This is how our model looks like and the data that we got upon sorting out the model. Our model categorizes employees based on potential cyber risk factors, enabling us to devise more effective mitigation strategies against cybersecurity threats. We split the level of risk into 3 outcomes: big risk, medium risk, and small risk. Let's take a closer look at the decisions that shape this model.
The model is structured around 4 key criteria: the attendance in the BBC 2104 cybersecurity and me course, the level of security clearance, the average time spent online, and if there was any history of potential cybersecurity problems in the past 1 month. Each of them is crucial for understanding and quantifying the cybersecurity risk landscape within our organization. Our first criteria is on whether the course had been taken by employees before. We classified those who took BBC 2104 to be in small risk, since it would have equipped them with the necessary knowledge to identify and mitigate cybersecurity threats and tasks, making this the most important condition in our classification model. We abstracted this column based on the attendance of the course. Yes, if they have taken the course before, and no if they had not. This abstraction allowed for us to identify the staff taken this course before with more ease. The next criteria we considered was the level of security clearance, which is tied to how much access to sensitive data an employee has. Analyzing this allowed us to gauge the potential risk and the impact of successful cybersecurity attacks on our company. Class 1 deals with information with little to no security concern. Class 2 deals with restricted information, while Class 3 deals with top secret company information. We classified those in Class 1 to be in small risk, since we felt that they are the lowest risk of being targeted by cyber adversaries. This condition was the second one because we felt that it is also important and more reliable than our third criteria, since the level of security clearance had already been predetermined via assessment by the company.
The third criteria we used is average time spent online. The cutoff we used was any time over 5 hours. The length of time an employee is online directly correlates with the exposure to cyber threats. Being online longer often means a heightened chance of encountering risks like phishing scams. This metric helps pinpoint employees with greater cyber exposure. In this abstracted column, we've segmented the average online duration into 3 categories, distributing the hours as evenly as possible. This allows us to quickly identify employees at heightened risk due to prolonged online activity. Our last criteria is recent cybersecurity incidents. Having incidents within the last month, excluding previous cybersecurity incidents, was used as our cutoff. An employee's recent encounter with potential cyber threats indicates either existing vulnerabilities or risk-prone behaviors. This metric helps us to discern recurrent attack patterns and promptly detect individuals more susceptible to current threats. In this abstracted column, we've classified incidents based on their potential as cybersecurity threats. Employees with a history of such incidents face a higher likelihood of future attacks. The average time spent online condition is proactive, aiming to identify and mitigate potential incidents before they occur. In contrast, the recent cybersecurity incidents condition is reactive, highlighting vulnerabilities only after an incident has occurred. Prevention is better than cure, which is why the average time spent online is the more important third condition, and recent cybersecurity incidents is the last condition.
So why did you choose these factors over the rest?
We chose these over the rest because of 3 reasons. Firstly, some factors are not directly related and we would have to make extreme assumptions in order to include them into our model. For example, columns relating to personal information such as the ones shown in this slide. If we were to use age and higher education to classify the level of risk, we would be making the assumption that older people and people with a lower education are less tech-savvy and more vulnerable. In our opinion, this is too broad a generalization. Secondly, other factors may be slightly related but do not have strong enough links to contribute to the question. For example, their annual income. Although we could draw the link that since they have high incomes, cyber attackers might want to get their personal information and as such, putting them at a higher risk. However, if they were to target people with high income, it will be an attack on the individuals, and as such, it may not be considered as an attack on the company, which is what our model is supposed to classify. Lastly, the data and other factors could be inaccurate since they could have been a result of another proxy measure. For example, appraisal grades which were possibly measured using other factors. This means that the data could have already been contaminated, thus making it inaccurate.
So, what do you think are the limitations of our model and what solutions can you offer?
Here we have our model limitations. Firstly, it may be an overgeneralization to assert that just because someone has completed the course, they are at a minimal risk. Several factors can influence this. A few examples are that it could have been a long time since they took the course, or they might not be applying the knowledge they gained from the course, or that the course content was simply not enough. Thus, we propose that it is possible to add an if condition to further filter those at risk. In this case, we would add if there's a history of potential cybersecurity attack, as seen from the new tree diagram. Now, here's the updated results for Model 2. Secondly, having a security clearance of Class 1 doesn't necessarily indicate a low risk. High income levels could also make them attractive targets for those seeking personal information, further elevating their risk. To be more comprehensive, we propose considering individuals with income at the low tier level and above as well, by adding an OR function. As seen from the new tree diagram, here are the updated results for Model 3. To augment our cybersecurity network, we suggest having regular security reviews. This can be done by establishing a practice of regular one-on-one security reviews with high-risk individuals. During these meetings, we can discuss the importance of cybersecurity and the consequences of non-compliance, as such improving our cybersecurity. Secondly, we can have security audits and self-reports. This involves implementing a system where high-risk employees are to perform self-reports or self-assessments regarding their adherence to security policies. This can promote self-awareness and accountability, as such improving our company's cybersecurity.
Our classification model, built on careful analysis and a proactive approach, will help to sieve out those with a bigger risk of getting cybersecurity attacks. With this model, we hope to make our company one that has a safe environment to work in. Thank you!